So apologies for that. We are back for another Republic of Motorsport Grand Prix. This is the Russian Grand Prix here at the Sochi Autodrome. I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Konovid. How are you today, sir?
Doing very well. Quite excited for this one now. Stubbsy on pole. Rooney looking to get the move done into turn one. It's a long run down towards that first corner, so Rooney's definitely got a chance if he can just get that good start that he needs. James will be in there as well. He'll have the slipstream from Stubbsy off the start and on the clean side of the grid. So we could see a really tight fight going into the first corner.
Yep, so the comms check is good. We're receiving you loud and clear, my friend. So we are good and ready to go. Yeah, it looks like Tommy Real is new to the grid. So he's already impressed me in qualifying, putting himself in P4 ahead of the established and the fast charging Mr. Westerns, as well as Yanni Jans. We've got Lorne, Givbats, Aki, Jack. We've got 4.5 and Celtic Speed. Let's just have a look at the tyre detail, see if anyone's going to try and spring a surprise. The only man opting for the medium is front half down in P11.
Yeah, he's gone for that alternate strategy, which he's able to do because he did not qualify in the top 10. And that should mean he can go long into this race, make a late pit stop for the soft tyre, and really push the guys ahead in the late stage.
So yeah, if you're just joining us, we do have a few less numbers today due to the delay in the Bahrain Grand Prix in real life. That has just delayed our race and caught a few people off guard, and yeah, the timings just got a bit messed up. But you know, it's all good in the end. Mr. Grosjean managed to walk away, thankfully, and yeah, we're looking forward to this one here in Sochi today. You want to lead us away, Mr. Conobit?
Well, I have just seen Mr. Thrunhalf on the mediums have a spin in the formation. That's not a good omen going into this one, but the cars are pulling onto the grid. Stubbsy takes his pole position slot. Rooney alongside. He'll be looking to get the move done into turn one. He'll have the inside line, but it's such a long run down to that first corner that really anything can happen. Final car. Mr. Thrunhalf, he's just pulling into his grid slot now. And then we will wait for the lights to come on ahead of the drivers. For the Russian Grand Prix, it's Penalty City here at the Sochi Autodrome. The lights are going on ahead of the drivers. Stubbsy on pole, Rooney alongside. The lights go out and we are racing in Sochi. Good start from Stubbsy. Rooney immediately tucked into the slipstream. I think there's a bit of carnage at the back, but I'm going to focus on this speed battle. Stubbsy covers the inside, Rooney with the slipstream. He'll have to go the long way around into turn one. Does he choose to go late on the brakes? No, he doesn't. Stubbsy then leads into the first corner ahead of Rooney. Then comes James, and we've got a spin. The Williams of Tommy Real. That's important for him on his debut. The other Williams, Celtic Speed's had a flying start. He's already up to P5. What a launch he's got. Jack Miles in P7. Thrunhalf up to 8th on the mediums. Got Lorne in 9th, Aki 10th. Something's gone wrong for the racing point off the start. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm going to get it wrong. He's had
and Rudy's in the lead. Rudy is in the lead of the Grand Prix. James is having a little sniff as well. They can all taste the blood. They all want victory here at Sochi, and they're all getting punchy very, very early in the Grand Prix. But what a start for Rudy. He must have got it around turn 4, I do believe. But yeah, some early carnage there. And everyone has survived, fortunately. What a start to the Grand Prix, Matt. Stubbsy looking to respond straight away.
Here he goes then. He's going to go the long way round late on the brakes. He'll go deep into the corner, but he's got it stopped in time. We'll have the inside of the next one. A little bit of contact. Pushes Rooney out wide, and that allows James to get up into second. Rooney will fight that back though. As the outside, now the inside. Rooney maintains second, but James with the switchback. Get the drive off the corner, and he'll go down the inside into the penultimate corner and up into second place.
Rudy will be absolutely steaming because this is going to give Stubbsy the chance to check out. Of course, the RS not activated just yet. And Rooney is slipping back. Is he going to send one down into turn 1? We're about to find out. He doesn't look close enough as it stands. But what a start to the Grand Prix for this man, James. And Rooney now coming under attack from that man, Westerns.
Yeah, Weston's getting aggressive in these early stages. He's going to look to try and go around the outside at turn 3. That's a dangerous move. If he wants to have a look, chooses not to. Rooney's gone defensive into turn 4. That might allow Westons to get the run now on this little straight. Rooney covers it off and holds on, and the timing screen is having a moment. The things you love to see. Well done, Codemasters, back at it again.
starter's having its normal fits. And yeah, it will shake out in just a minute. We are on lap 2 of the Grand Prix. As we start lap 3, it will stay as lap 3 and sort itself back out again. But it's that man, Stubbsy, who snuck back into the lead early on in this one. James with an impressive start to the Grand Prix as well. Currently sitting in P2, and it's Rooney currently in 3rd. He's going to try and get past surely on this next lap.
Yeah, we want him to make that move as early as he can. James just losing the back end there through that chicane. That's allowed Rooney to get right up into the back, and Rooney having a little moment of his own. Here we go then, lap 3 DRS will be enabled. See if anyone, James has got that DRS to defend with as well. That will be helping him all the way down this straight, and will not be helping Rooney. He wants to get that move done.
And they're holding on pretty well to the back of Stubbsy. I'm mightily impressed at this point. You know Stubbsy's raw potential and pace. And James has definitely put the laps in, it seems.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Stubbsy sort of check out at the front here. He's not doing that so far today. Lap 3 and he's not even broken the DRS yet. It's up to James and Rooney to try and capitalise and make the move for the lead in the coming stages.
Yeah, Sochi, one of them tracks, you normally have 2 races going on. One where it will be hanging on to no penalties, just trying to minimise any warnings. Track limits are a killer. And there'll be the other people that will be absolutely sending it. No time penalties as yet early on in the Grand Prix.
Nope, everybody keeping it clean as is the way to go, because you might gain a few tenths here and there from exceeding track limits, but when it comes down to it, you're going to lose 3 seconds from a penalty, and that's way more than you're going to gain. So it's all about keeping it clean. And I think the Racing Point at the back has had another off a spin. He's got broken front wing, and he will be desperately hoping for a safety car now.
Okay, this is the time to really start to push, because it looks like Stubbsy's about to turn up the wick and try and break this toe. Can James close in quick enough? Really stuck in the DRS train, coming under pressure himself. We head through turn 2 here. Good exit onto 3.
So another thing to think about as well is your ERS management here. It's quite difficult to recharge the batteries, and James is already down to 20%. Stubbsy still up at 80%, Rooney at 60%. James has been using a lot of battery in the early stages, as we see our first penalty of the afternoon on lap 4. It's front half, 3 seconds for multiple warnings.
Yeah, and it's difficult running in this dirty air. That's going to start to cost you, like you know, track limits as well. It's very easy when you're this close to the car in front, just to lose that bit of front end, run a bit wide, and yeah, it's going to cost you a couple of warnings. But here comes Rooney, he's in the DRS. Of course, the car ahead has DRS as well. He looks left, he looks right, and he's going to have the inside line in the next corner. Who's going to break the latest? They go side by side. It's Red Bull, Mercedes, and Mercedes comes out on top. A great move there from Rooney, some great respectful driving, and the AlphaTauri has a sniff, and he's looking on the inside of the Williams as well. Oh, and he gets the tail wide, and they're in the barrier. They're in the barrier. We've got damage to the Williams and the AlphaTauri, it seems. And so unfortunate to see Celtic Speed and Westerns both pick up damage there.
Not what you want to see. The Williams just dropped the back end, came back across the AlphaTauri, and they both ended up in the barriers. They're going to be making an early pit stop and a slow pit stop for those front wing changes. But Rooney has made his move. He's got up into P2, and he can now chase after Stubbsy in the lead of this race.
And James is just hanging on in there. Just stay within that 1 second, mate. Recharge the batteries and put the man in P2 in the championship under pressure. I hadn't noticed previously, but James has picked up his first penalty of the afternoon. That's going to come and bite him in the rear end come the end of the Grand Prix. And
even worse for him, the 2 cars ahead have not even picked up their first warning yet. Stubbsy and Rooney keeping it clean. Weston's is not. He's just picked up 3 seconds. We'll see how that comes at the conclusion of this Grand Prix.
Now keep an eye on front half because he'll come good towards the end of the Grand Prix. Expect to take these soft tyres. What was the prediction? Around 11 laps? Any longer than that, Matt?
Yeah, if we're doing the soft to medium strat, you probably want to take them around 11-12 laps before you switch over, put the mediums on and go to the end of the race.
Comes the charging ball. Is he going to be close enough into the braking zone? Is he going to have a little look? Just makes Rooney think about it. The Mercedes locks the inside front but holds on to P2.
Got McLaren swapping positions as well. Aki ahead now of Jack Miles. So they're fighting for P5 and P6. We've got the Williams of Tommy Real, who I just looked at, and he's spun into the barriers, broken his front wing. He'll need to be making another trip to the pits. And we've got a safety car deployed.
Yeah, love to see it. One man who will not love to see that is James. Great start to the race. And the safety car is really going to bite you when you've got a time penalty, because of course the whole pack will bunch up and it will be a reset on the clock basically with these intervals now. So what's your strategy here, Matt? 3 stops? What are you going to do?
Yeah, you've got a pit now, haven't you? And the big question is, what tyre do you go for? I mean, it's going to be a preference thing. If you can manage the tyres, you go for mediums and get to the end. If you're going to struggle with tyre wear, you put hards on. You can push a lot harder on that tyre, but you just won't have that raw grip that the mediums can give you. It's a tough call, but I think I would be maybe looking at some medium tyres to go to the end.
Yeah, I always edge on the air of caution, and I would definitely be looking to get a hard on right now in pit lane.
See what the leaders go for. They're all coming in. We'll see if anyone takes the strategy to stay out. The other racing point of the name I can't pronounce has stayed out. Jack Miles has stayed out. Aki's in the pits.
Mediums for the top 3.
And they obviously back their tyre saving abilities. They think they can get to the end.
They're going to be loosey-goosey in the final, I'd say 5 to 3 laps of the Grand Prix. Aki getting a new fresh front wing on that orange McLaren.
We've got Thronhalf, who's gone for the hard tyre. Celtic Speed, who had just pitted before the safety car, will stay out on his hard tyres. We'll see what ground he makes up. He's up to 6th place.
I mean, Thronhalf had to slap on the hards. He started on the mediums, of course, so that really forced his hand when it comes to strategy. You have to use 2 tyre compounds in any dry condition race.
Yeah, a lot of cars going then for the medium tyre. They all definitely think that you can get that tyre to the end, because I don't think anybody's going to be opting to make another pit stop now. You'd want to put something on that can take you to the finish. It'll be interesting to see Jack Miles. Does he now stay out, or is he going to pit at the end of this lap and come out at the back of the field but on the tyres that can finish the race?
Yeah, it makes sense, really.
The last thing you want to do is stay out now and still have to pit and come out, say, 10 seconds behind the field, when you could pit now and be last, but still with everyone and still with a fighting chance.
100%. It's just that free pit stop, innit? You have to take it. Everyone loves a freebie. Now, I think we're going to have to watch out for this man at the end of the race. Celtic Speed, if you can stay with the pack ahead of him, stay within the DRS, make them hards work in the last, 7 to 5 laps, you could be really in a position to pounce on the podium.
Jack Miles does come into the pits then. Interesting one at the back though. The racing point I'm still not going to try and pronounce the name. No, I'm not going to try. He's stayed out and he's still on softs. We've got Tommy Reel, who I think has pitted for fresh softs. They're obviously opting to make one more pit stop at some point in this race. It's a bold call, that.
So let's hope we get the message this lap. Let's hope the lights on the safety car do go out and we can get some racing once again. Sochi is long enough at the best of times. You don't want to drag it out any longer than you need to.
You feel like they could have done so much more with this circuit here in Russia. It had good potential, but they've just not executed it well. There's not enough overtaking opportunities. It's not a very nice track to drive.
Yeah, and it always quite neutralises the racing, like, especially this mid-sector here. I mean, the long straight, it's good, but then the sort of the turn 3 sort of kills it, you know, on the exit there. I don't know, it's obviously difficult because it's not used year round, it is a temporary circuit. Yeah, a bit of a waste, like you say.
Safety car in this lap, so Stubbsy will back up the field. Rooney will be sat there waiting to pounce on the safety car restart as we get ready to go racing again.
Timo Quinton, Sochi is a track that deserves to be drawn out.
Yeah, we've seen too many good tracks this season in real life that don't have a place on the calendar for Sochi to still have a place.
Yeah, it's one you'd probably sacrifice in a heartbeat. And Stubbs, he's gone! He's gone and he's left him for dust. And Rooney is on the back foot and he's going to come under attack from James, who's right on the gearbox of that Mercedes in P2. And Stubbsy has caught them all napping.
Here comes James then. Can he have a look into turn 1 on the safety car restart? It'll be his best chance to make the move for P2. Stubbsy though nailed that restart. He got away. Celtic speed on the inside of the Haas, and Yanni Jans gets the move done. Runs a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, but gets past. And will now hold on as they come through the long left-hander. Very tricky corner if you're using overtake. Very easy to lose the back end, so I would disengage that if I were the driver. I saw a couple trying to hold overtake all the way around. But ABR Stubbsy already outside of DRS with the guys behind.
Tommy Reel has just absolutely sent it up the inside of Westerns and up into P8. Getting punchy off the restart. They can smell a point, they can smell a send, and boy are they going for it.
Exactly what you need to do on a safety car restart with everybody so close. We've got Aki who's looking for a move on Yanni Jans. Yanni Jans already lost the place for Celtic. He might about to lose it under. Aki goes late on the brakes, chooses not to, backs out of it. Yanni Jans will hold on.
Remember, you need to conserve your tyres. We have a long way to go in Russia, and it's going to be a bit of a marathon when it comes to track limits as well. We're not needing to push too hard. It's going to be 2 races here. We've got a lot of people cutting corners as it stands. We're looking to send it very early on. Is anyone going to be close enough for a send down into turn 1, Matt?
They're all in a big slipstream train here. Aki looks for the move. John Half looks for the move. Tommy Reel looks for the move, but no one can get it done. Oh, Tommy Reel's just hit the back of John Half. John Half losing the rear end on the exit of turn 1. I hope that's not caused any damage for the Williams. He's looking really racy here. One goes a bit deep. Tommy can't capitalise.
Trying to make the use of them soft tyres early on, and he's picked up a penalty for good measure.
It's going to cost him come the end of this one. is Tommy Real, who is on the charge. He's still looking to make up places on the guys ahead of him. I'll come on to what would be the DRS straight, but we've not got DRS enabled as of yet. That will come next lap, and that's when we should really see an increase in overtaking.
Timo Quinton saying I'd sacrifice a big chunk of the calendar for Zandvoort, such a perfect track. And yeah, it was very unfortunate that we didn't get any racing there this year, Matt.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see some racing at Zandvoort. I don't think it would have been an amazing circuit. It does look quite narrow and really not one that's going to be good for cars following each other, but it did look like a really nice track, and it is very nice to drive on the Formula 1 game. The other one we're not going to see is Vietnam. That's a real shame, because that was actually looking like a really nice circuit.
It's crazy to think that we might not ever see an F1 car in anger around the streets of Hanoi.
Tommy Real just tried to get the move done on Westons there, or maybe the other way around, and he just loses the back end out of that first corner. Again, we've got a Mercedes right on the outside of turn 3. Tommy tries to fight back, but it's Lorne who gets the move done up into P9. Good move there from the Mercedes. And Tommy loses out.
Thanks for keeping us company in the chat. He says, good. Wait, what? Somebody likes Vietnam? Good morning, Vietnam. I like Vietnam. Why don't you like Vietnam? What you got against it? It looks like an absolutely insane track to me. He's having a sniff. You can smell the gearbox of Yanni Jans up ahead of us. And Yanni Jans is also closing in on the back of Celtic Speed and will be in within DRS punching distance on the next straight.
Aki picks up 3 seconds, not what he needed. They're going for the move. Westons is gaining all the time. So's Tommy Real though. He's gone for it, and Jack Miles is retired. Safety car.
Now they'll get interesting. I think now you need to think about pitting again, do you, Matt? Or will this preserve your mediums?
You're on mediums. You're pretty much guaranteed to get to the end now. When will this set? The safety car's probably going to come in on end of lap 14, 15. Gives you 12, 13 laps to the finish. Could you get a set of softs that far?
It's going to be a big ask. I mean, you're going to be pushing like crazy because you're going to have to do some overtakes. The field is still quite bunched up, so it's going to drop you right down to probably last. Yeah, it's a huge gamble right now.
I'll tell you what, if you're on hard tyres, you might decide to make that switch back. That might be a good one to do. And if you're at the back of the field, maybe you want to take that risk. You want to try something different. Put on a set of softs. On the low fuel, try get them to the end of the race. It'll be a big ask, but might just be doable.
Yeah, if you're Tommy, definitely slap on a fresh medium, I'd suggest. And give that blah. I'd definitely put on a fresh med as well.
Oh, Stubbsy just dummied into the pits there. Got Celtic coming in. Tommy Real coming in.
His track position.
Lawns coming in. The Williams will double stack. That might cost one of them. That'll be Tommy Real might lose out to Lawn. And the racing point of Goods. I'm sorry if I got that very much wrong, and I'm not trying again. Has picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's going to prove costly for him. But he can put on fresh tyres to go to the end of the race. We'll see what he puts on. It's a set of mediums.
Tommy slaps Horner hard. Interesting.
No one choosing to risk it on the softs then, all going for either the mediums or the hard compound.
so Timo is also put in there. I mean, I'd take Vietnam over Monza. Now that's controversial to me because I love a bit of Monza. I know Matt is not a fan of Monza, and I'm sorry to mention that word to you, but you know, it's a good track for overtaking and a good spectacle.
It just really upset me to start talking about Monza, and you know how I feel about Monza because I've been there and it didn't go well. Now, for real, Monza's a good track. Everybody loves Monza. It promotes good racing and very tight finishes. Not talking about any specific time that ever happened to me, ever.
Yeah, and of course the Tifosi, that unique podium. I mean, it's just a passion of racing, and yeah, a classic, definite classic.
It's one of the historic ones. Monza, Silverstone, Spa, Monaco, they're kind of the big ones in terms of history. They've just been around for so long now.
Timo saying, I don't understand what people like about it. It's a glorified oval. It is a glorified oval, and that's what makes it so different to a lot of the tracks on the calendar. We see a completely different configuration on cars. It does, draw to different strengths for different teams, so it just mixes up the order sometimes. We do see often, like one of the old Force India always go well there. The old Williams, when they was half decent, go well around that kind of circuit. So yeah, it just does suit certain concepts over others, and nice to see them skinny wings. I'm not a skinny man myself. I like a bit more of a chunk on the back end, but each to their own.
Yeah, it's a different track. It creates good racing. They're in Austria, are very much straight line orientated, not a lot of corners, and it just means that pretty much everywhere you look, there is an overtaking opportunity. It's not like Russia, where you may be looking at 2 opportunities to pass on the entire track. It also sits quite nicely amongst a lot of the Tilkodromes that we have these days. A lot of tracks quite similar now, but it's nice to have that variation.
Yeah, and one of the, like you say, the traditionals when it comes to the runoff areas, having the grass so close to the edge of the track, the gravel trap sitting there in waiting as well if there is a mistake made, and seeing cars sideways, trying to get the traction down, on the exit of Ascari, seeing a Ferrari sideways, it's quite nice to see.
Yeah, I don't enjoy seeing Ferrari sideways. I'm a Ferrari fan. It's not nice watching Vettel spin out of Ascari and then drive back into the Lance Stroll like a muppet, even though he's a 4-time world champion and 53 times a race winner. It really does confuse me. But I did not enjoy that.
What is he doing? What is he doing here? Honestly.
Oh, that's annoying. Safe car in this lap, but I have got to leave you now, Richie Skills.
That's alright, bro. Well, thank you for joining me, keeping me company here today, and we hope to see you in the coming weeks, my friend.
See you in a bit, dude.
Ciao for now. Now we're getting ready to go racing here at the Sochi Autodrome. Is Stubbsy going to lead us away? He built up that advantage over his championship rival Rooney. Built up almost 2 seconds off the restart. He caught Rooney napping. This is a good place to get the hammer down when your competitor is on that little hump there, but he's not gone yet. Safety car is not far enough. Remember, it has to be in pit lane, otherwise we will get slowed back down again. And Rooney has dropped the hammer. He's put his foot right down. And here we go, we're getting back up to racing again. Is anyone going to be close enough as we come down the start-finish straight? It looks like Stubbsy has pulled out 0.8 of a second on the restart. And it's beautiful once again. We'll start to call it LH on these restarts. And Rooney's got some work to do. He's got a decent gap to the car behind. It looks like Aki, he can sniff the car ahead. He's going to have a little look down into turn 1. Not quite close enough. Edging on the side of caution. Aki is closing, he's closing. Is he going to send it down the inside of the next corner? He thinks better of it. It's allowing front half also to close in on the back of him though. And everyone just filling up the mirrors here. The psychological warfare at this point. A bit of a train already forming. Of course, DRS will not be enabled immediately. Gonna have to wait just a little bit. battle back here. Nice battle. Rooney almost a second behind Stubbsy, who's absolutely sending it. He's using all the juice early on. And let's have a look and focus on this battle here for position 5, because Aki is going to have to get his elbows out as they come into this heavy braking zone. Little lock up there for front half. On them hard tyres, doing well to keep pace early on the restart. Of course, very difficult to get tyre temperature into them. They are a scrub set, saying that though, Rich, so when you've got a used tyre, it is a bit easier to move around the compound. You've got less rubber to warm up. And let's see, on the start finish straight, front half is going to be ever closer on the back of this McLaren now. Rooney has already dropped out of that DRS window, and so is James, just around, floating around 1 second there as we come down into turn 1. So everyone comes through single file. Well, we've got Westerns, we've got front half, they're going to go wheel to wheel. It's a long way round, doesn't always work. Oh, and he always gets a swapper on there, bangs wheels. Just caused that back end to come around, and he's lost the position to Celtic Speed, I believe that. And Celtic Speed putting himself in a good position here. All the cars ahead of him do have a penalty. Let's just check in on the penalty situation right now. Yes, every car ahead of Celtic Speed does have 3 seconds of penalties. Lap 16 of 27 here at Sochi. And it's all to play for. Rooney is trying to close back up into that DRS window. And here comes Westerns. He's going to have a look at Celtic Speed. Going to have DRS again on the next lap, I do believe. Maybe you just want to position yourself. Oh, front half struggling on them hard tyres. Sliding round there. But he should pick up the DRS now, does he? Let's have a look. And yes, he does. So that may cost Celtic Speed the position. Let's see if he can defend it down into turn 1. There he can. Nicely nice. Everyone concertinaing up into turn 1. As we slam on the brakes, another 3 seconds for Tommy there. Sideways there, they go wheel to wheel. That was a very brave move there. Oh, and what's happened? Someone around. A number of people losing out positions there. Well, a lot to take in. Celtic Speed in P6 doing a good job, doing what he needs to do. Now he needs to catch up to Aki ASAP and really get a move on if he wants to push for the podium. Back straight. This is your second bite at a DRS overtake. Aki's closing in on the car ahead, but we're focusing on the battle for P6. And it's Celtic Speed leading the pack front half right up the gearbox, and then it's followed by Westerns, Lorne, Tommy Real and Vivats. Is allergic to track design that wouldn't be better suited for a go-kart track. Yeah, we've had enough of him. He's had a few good tracks, but not many over the years. Quite like India, but it's a shame we never went back there due to the corruption, the taxes. I think the import tax and a few other things was an issue around there. A few cars running wide. If you even touch that orange curve, it's going to give you a penalty normally. Stubbsy, Rooney, Celtic Speed, Lorne, all doing very well to keep it clean so far. Lap 18 of 27 here in Russia. And at the front of the order, it's that man, Stubbsy, in the pink outfit, leading the way for Racing Point, as usual, leading the way in the championship and on track here today. Rooney currently second in the standings, second on track. And then James holding it down in P3. Westerns just picks up a penalty there. Front half on them harder tyres. It should come a bit better in the final few laps. Maybe the safety car will mitigate that though. Let's see. Lock up there for front half. This is where they'll be suffering towards the end of the race, when tyre wear becomes a problem through sector 3. It's quite a lot of 90-degree kind of corners, and it's very easy to lose the back end, struggle to get the hammer down, and onto this straight. Important to get a clean exit, which is going to benefit you all the way down the main straight. Western is closing. He's closing, but the car ahead has the DRS as well. That's what we mean about the DRS train. So difficult. Oh, but he's got a good exit. He has to check off a bit of speed. And Stubbsy picks up 3 seconds. This is going to be crucial for the lead of the Grand Prix. Rudy just has to stay within 3 seconds of the lead, and it's gift wrap for him here in Sochi. Stubbs has got the message. He's going to start to use as much juice as he can, and he's almost up to a 2-second advantage now. James picks up another penalty, and that might cost him the podium come the end of the race. Let's just have a look at the penalty situation, and that's 6 seconds for James, currently in position 3. Yanni Jans is a further 4.3 behind him, who has 3 seconds as well, so he might hang on to it. Maybe touch and go come the end of the race. Aki is slowly drawing in Yanni Jans up ahead of him, and he's got a good run coming down into turn 1. Yanni Jans is going to show him to the outside, and it's a long way around that first corner. You're just going to have to line it up, try and get a better exit, and go for it round here. Oh, he get a bit sideways, but he's going to have to go a long way around. That's a lot more track to cover. Doesn't normally pay off, and he thinks better of it. He's going to tuck back in and live to fight another day. Givats with another 3 seconds added to his time at the end of the Grand Prix. As it stands, Celtic speed should jump up to around P4 if he keeps it clean. Oh, look at this front half. He sends him the dummy. He's going to send it to the inside. He's going to lock up the brakes. He's going to run wide, and that might cost him another position. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Westerns. Westerns is just going to slip back in, touches the rear end of the Alpha, and Lorne is there ready to pounce, as well as Tommy. We've got a nice train at the back of the order. Nice to be commentating at the back of the order for a change. We're normally focusing on the front end of the field. Rooney now 2.6 seconds behind the leader. Westerns gets a bit tardy out the final corner. He's going to be a sitting duck. We've got 4 cars in contention. It's Westerns, it's Lord, Tommy Real and Givats all in the hunt as we rocket down towards turn 1 now. Tommy looking to the inside. Lord shows him. Oh, look at the touch. That's going to cost both of them on traction. And yeah, Tommy slips back there. It's given Westerns a bit of breathing space, and he can focus on the car ahead of him now. It's hammer time, boys. These mediums are going to start to go off very, very quickly. You're going to have to be ever so careful on the traction, and this might play into front half's hands on them hard tyres. Aki picks up 3 seconds. It's another 3 seconds, and that is definitely going to benefit Celtic Speed. He's just going to have to put it in cruise control now. Make sure he picks up no penalties, and look at this. Celtic Speed actually has damage, so he's doing a remarkable job right now. Rooney has slipped outside that magic 3-second window, so now it's gone back into Stubbsy's hands as it stands. So your leader has started lap 22 of 27 here at the Sochi Autodrome. Westerns have just picked up another 3 seconds. The man in P2, a further 3.6 seconds now behind. So he'll finish at the end of the race. If he doesn't pick up a penalty, half a second behind Stubbsy in the final classifications. Then we've got James, who has 6 seconds worth of penalties. The car behind him is 7 seconds behind, which is Yanni Jans, but he also has a penalty of his own. Let's just have a quick check-in on the ERS, because it is quite brutal, as Matt earlier stated. Your leader with 27%, the man in P2 on 16, James on 14%, Yanni Jans on 13, Aki on 12. Let's watch this battle back here. They're all in the teens. Everyone using up all the juice. Is anyone going to send one? Oh, here comes Celtic Speed. He's going to send it to the inside. He doesn't have the confidence. Of course, he's got that wing damage, and he doesn't want to pick up any warnings. He might be living on his last thread as it is. Rooney now 4 seconds behind the lead of the Grand Prix. After short shift in there, making sure he gets the traction down, but Westerns is creeping on up, just a quarter of a second separating the battle for P7 now as we head down into turn 1. Celtic Speed pulls alongside. Is he going to get it done under brakes? Yes, he does. McLaren's going to have another look. Look who's here as well. Front half is ready to pick up the pieces if there's any contact. Train. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars all in a line, and that's a very wide one in. Oh, we got someone off into the barrier. That was a big shunt, and that was not what we want to see. That was Westerns. We had a local yellow. It's been cleared already. That was big damage for the AlphaTauri driver, and sad to see just a snap on traction. It seemed maybe a bit of contact. We will review that with the stewards after the Grand Prix. If you're new to league racing, you can submit a clip after the race. Of course, we don't have full race control. We can't look back on incidents during the Grand Prix. We do rely on drivers submitting the feedback and also evidence of any incidents throughout the race. Yeah, we're now on to lap 24 of 27, and Stubbsy leads the way with a 4-second margin. Stubbsy does have a 3-second penalty. If he picks up another one, the race win will go to Rooney, and Westerns has now pulled into the pits and retired as we head down into turn 1. So we're going to look to send it. Not close enough, it seems. We're getting into the business end of this Grand Prix now. And you're going to be hanging onto your butts. Celtic Speed, although he has the damage, he has the fresher tyre. They're going to be in their prime right now, and everyone on around 16 lap old mediums are going to really start to struggle in the last 2 laps now. One half, he should come into his own as well. He selected the harder compound, doesn't have that initial grip, but it has the longevity. It'll take a while to scrub up to speed. It should be in their prime at the minute. Here we go on the back straight. Oh, and he's touched the McLaren ahead of him, and he's spun Aki around. I think that'll be a slam dunk penalty. It wasn't intentional, but he has cost Aki some serious points this afternoon. So Rooney really needs to be scenario 7, hammer time. He's got to close within 1 more second, and he can taste the top step of the podium come the end of the Grand Prix. We're on lap 25 of 27 in Sochi. Currently Rooney, Celtic Speed and Lorne are the only guys, as well as Aki, sorry, yet to pick up a penalty here. Aki will be getting himself a new front wing, and he slapped on a set of soft tyres after picking up that damage. He's looking to go for fastest lap. Currently sitting in P10, so he will pick up a point if he does finish the Grand Prix. You have to finish the race to pick up the points. You can't just DNF now. You need to bring it to the flag. And of course, if you push for that fastest lap, that will give you 1 extra point. So your race leader has started the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and that is ABR Stubbsy. Not had much camera time as usual, so he just cruised away. He's had his gap demolished by a couple of safety cars, but he's had good restarts, and he's had the pace to pull out a 4-second advantage. He's also had the pace and track limit warnings, which have given him a 3-second penalty. As it stands, he will finish 1 second ahead of Rooney once he serves that when he crosses the line. Further back we have James. James currently has 6 seconds of penalties, but he has a 9-second buffer to Yanni Jans, who's in 4th, so he should secure himself that podium, James. And then we've got Celtic Speed having a smooth operation today, and he's also pulled out a nice little buffer to the car behind. That'll just give him a bit of breathing space, and he should jump Yanni Jans come the end of the Grand Prix. Stubbsy has picked up another penalty. Oh, this is crucial. This might hand the race win to Mr. Rooney, who's only 4.5 seconds. Stubbsy, with 1 lap to go, has picked up a penalty, and he needs to pull out 1.5 seconds. He gets another 2 strikes, so he might have to be clinical with this one now and really push scenario 7 if he wants to win the Grand Prix. That's just opened the door for Rooney. He had the gap, he didn't need to push that hard, but try telling that to Stubbsy. He goes ham every lap. And it's now 4.8 the gap. Make that, hovering around just under 5 seconds. And the last thing Rooney needs to do is pick up a penalty of his own. He just needs to stay within 6 seconds of the car ahead, and he will take the top step of the podium. It's been an interesting Grand Prix. We had drama even before we got down to turn 1 off the line. I think it involved one of the racing points. I think Givat's sideways off the grid. And we've got a big train of cars still fighting for, it looks like position 5 on track, but we're going to stay with the man who has led away from the start from both safety car restarts, but he's been a bit of a naughty boy, and he's picked up 6 seconds worth of penalties here in Penn City at the Sochi Autodrome, and he's going to come around the final few corners. It's going to be tantalizingly close, and it's 5.4 seconds the gap. If Rooney has a slight moment, that's going to open the door for Stubbsy to win the race. Stubbsy's going to come across the line in position 1 and win the race in Sochi, but Rooney has hung on in there. He's kept it smooth, kept it clean, and he's going to jump him and win the race by 0.6 of a second here. James is going to come around the final corner in position 3. He's going to hang on to it, we do believe. And look at this gang of cars. It's going to be Yanni Jans. He's going to get jumped though by the clean, smooth operator of Celtic Speed, who's sprung it home to the end with damage. He'll jump up to P4, and we see everyone sort themselves out. So it's going to finish Rooney, Stubbsy, James on the podium, then Celtic Speed, Lorne, Yanni Jans, Givats, 4.5, Tommy Rill and Aki at the back. What a race. An interesting one here this afternoon. If you're new to the Republic of Motorsport, normally around 4:30 on a Sunday, of course, dependent on the F1 event and if there is one on, of course. But an interesting race. Stubbsy will be kicking himself that he let that one go. He's only got himself to blame after picking up them penalties. And Aki comes across the line for that final point. That was an interesting race. I think next up we do have Suzuka, if I'm not mistaken. Celtic Speed picks up driver of the day. Quite well deserved, you'd have to say. He had to overtake on track. He had to keep it clean. And he made up a lot of positions at the end of the race. Rooney will be ecstatic. It's been a while since he's been on that top step. And he stopped Stubbsy's run of dominance here at Sochi. He splashes the champagne over his fellow team member. Stubbsy will have to concede that one. And let's just check in on the standings. So it finished Rooney, Stubbsy, James, Celtic Speed, Lorne, Yanni Jans, Givats, Fronhoff, Tommy Real, Aki, Westerns and Jack Miles. The two last didn't finish the race, unfortunately. But let's get the top three in for an interview. Good evening, Rooney. How does it feel to take another victory? It's been a while coming for you, but you kept it smooth, you kept it clean, and you brought home the dub today. How do you feel, my friend? Yeah, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Yeah, like you say, there was two races we was talking about during the race. It would be them people that will push it to the absolute limit. Those that will keep it clean. Keeping it clean paid off, and that's going to bring you closer in the championship. Do you still feel that you can take it to Stubbsy this year, my friend? Yeah, that's it. Fighting talk from the defending champion. Have you got anyone else in the party? It's just... There we go. Good race from you, James. At one point, you know, I thought you could be in contention for the victory yourself. It was a great start. Took me through that opening stint to the Grand Prix and how your race went. Yeah, it was a great first stint for you, my friend, and you really like held your own up against them top two boys. I could hear Rooney from here shouting, like, get out the way, let me get on with this one, you know, but credit where it's due. And Celtic Speed, driver of the day today. I mean, a great display from you again, keeping it clean really paid off for you, and talk us through your Grand Prix, mate. Yeah, you... Yeah, well done to you, man. You held on with it with that front wing damage, missing that end plate. Also, you surrendered track position under the second safety car, you know. You opted to put on the mediums and the gamble paid off in the end. So well done to you. Yeah, so that's a wrap for another Republic of Motorsport stream for today. Join us the same time next week. Well, maybe not the same time, maybe 4:30. We'll have to see what the F1 gods tell us. But it's been a pleasure as always, boys, and take care and see you all soon.